Welcome on into 12news.com. Luke Liddon joined alongside Lena Washington, our insider Doug Franz. We are here to talk about the hiring of Frank Vogel. Was just announced 30 or so minutes ago here inside the Footprint Center. Lena, your initial thoughts?
Well, I think he is fired up to be here. I actually gained confidence hearing him talk about the assets he has here in the Valley, working with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. We know that he is a defensive-minded coach, and he is known to bring the potential out of rim protectors. So seeing how he unlocks, as you asked him, DA's full potential after working with the likes of AD and LeBron James. He also knows how to manage egos. So I think that's something that every coach is going to need in the NBA. But when you're having championship aspirations, he said it's going to take sacrifice, it's going to take work, and guys are going to have to put their egos aside to get that done here.
And one of my favorite questions throughout the entire presser was yours, Mr. Franz. You asked him about the championship or bust mentality, and he said, hell yeah. What was your thought on his response and just the overall presser yourself?
Well, he certainly won the press conference. I mean, that's number one. I think he won it, and then the number two entity that won was clearly 12 Sports, because I thought the best question was yours about rim protection.
So kind.
It is true, because that's the big question, is how do you unlock the DA personality and change that from just a personality to a force? And then I don't mind admitting it. I liked his answer to my question, because I said the keyword championship or failure, and he just said, hell yeah, meaning he embraces that. And let's face it, why else would you fire Monty Williams if it's not for one thing? And that's bringing a championship here. He knew the expectations going in. He didn't sound afraid of it.
No, he didn't at all. I think he said all the right things. You hope when you bring a new coach in ahead of the franchise, you hope they say the right things, get the fan base fired up. I think he did exactly that. And what really resonated with me, or I really enjoyed what he said, was the scrappy mentality, and that these guys are going to work harder than any other team in the NBA. And I'm curious, what did you take away from that, and maybe what was one of your highlights of the press conference?
Yeah, well, he said that scrappiness is going to start in practice. Yeah. So we're going to see how he runs his practice. And what stood out to me also was James Jones's comments to him. He was a player when Frank was coaching in Indiana, so he got to be on the opposite side of that tough defensive, beat you up kind of play that Frank Vogel's teams bring. But that's just the team, that's not the guy. So he's going to bring that toughness out of his players without having to raise his voice, scream, yell, all of that. So I'm really encouraged by hearing that. I also like how James Jones mentioned why he dismissed Monty, and that is that gap was there. It was a tough decision, but it had to be made to take this team over the hump. And Frank Vogel also mentioned how important it would be for him to bring a championship to the Valley for the first time. He goes back to being a Charles Barkley fan when he was a Sixers fan back in the day growing up. So he has that kind of connection and understanding of what that would mean to this fan base. And he's already done it with a championship team in the Lakers under the microscope that is the media market of LA. So I think he's going to embrace all the challenges that come with being in Phoenix.
And I think a big key is that championship experience. He's been able to do it, something the Suns have never been able to yet up to this point. And for the viewers at home, obviously they weren't here at this press conference, what would your main takeaway or message be to the fans about what we witnessed today with the new hiring of Frank Vogel?
I think number one, that he embraces the challenge of championship or failure, and you got to get it done. Number two, your question again, that he thinks he's the guy that can bring things out of DA. And let's go back to the other thing you said, scrappy. Not a word you normally say when you're talking about a star-laden team. True. And that's usually those two words contradict each other. And he says we're going to be scrappy. And the Frank Vogel style of defense is huge. When you were talking, Lena, about everything with that Miami Heat Pacers series, a lot of people forget that was the birth of the new LeBron James. LeBron James was the nice young man that always deferred to everybody, hoped everybody had a good time at the games, and hoped he won. After getting beat up in that series, he realized, if I don't play like a championship level every game, it's all on me and we don't win championships. He changed LeBron James when he wasn't his coach. Let's hope he can change DA and show what he can do, because he did win a championship later in his career with LeBron James.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. I love how we talked about the defensive intensity and how KD texted coach and said, I can't wait to play both sides of the ball. I'm ready for it. Same with D-Book. So it'll be interesting to see. We know Vogel has coached some of the best defensive teams in the entire NBA over his tenure as head coaches throughout the league. So I think it's a great day for the Suns organization. It's exciting. I think fans should be looking forward to what the season ahead holds, and hopefully they can bring that Larry O'Brien trophy back to the Valley for the first time in Suns history. Any final thoughts, Lena?
Also want to make note of Ish Wainwright, Suns player, being here for the introduction. It's kind of rare that we see players showing up for a new coach, but at least one of the guys on the roster did want to see face-to-face the guy who's going to be leading the charge here in Phoenix. So I thought that was encouraging for him to see and signal as a coach.
Yeah. Well, unlike Luke, I sat the bench in high school, so I know what was happening there. Ish came because he was fighting for playing time. The other players know they're going to get bombarded by interviews, so they run away from these pressers. Yeah. Ish was already starting to work for playing time. Good move, Ish Wainwright.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have much more on 12 News throughout the day at 4, 5, 6, 10 p.m., all the shows you can imagine. And be sure to keep it here on 12news.com for your latest.